watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall. Annalisa Gale has the day off right now. Video emerging in the case of a Loudoun County woman missing in the Dominican Republic for nearly a week. DC News Now obtaining this surveillance video from a Punta Cana hotel as investigators across the globe are on alert and searching for any sign of 20-year-old Sudikshu Konanki from South Riding, Virginia. DC News Now's Randy Bass is at Loudoun County Sheriff's Office in Leesburg, where they have named the person of interest in the case. Randy, what do you know at this hour?
Yesterday, the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office naming American tourist Joshua Ribe as that person of interest, telling us he may have been the very last person to see her before she disappeared as the search for Sudiksha Konanki enters a 6th day. Today, new surveillance video showing Sudiksha Konanki walking around that Punta Cana resort with a group of friends. Loudoun County deputies calling Joshua Ribe, believed to be pictured in the surveillance footage, a person of interest in her disappearance. Now, both the FBI and the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office have crews on the ground in the Dominican Republic aiding in the investigation there. Interpol issuing a worldwide missing persons alert or yellow notice for Konanki. The search for her ramping up as her disappearance nears the 1-week mark. Authorities say Ribe's story about his last moments with Konanki has changed several times. Though this is not a criminal investigation at this point, former FBI agents walk us through what could happen next if authorities find more evidence in the case.
If they had more evidence in that, and he was detained down there, you'd read him his rights. They would come in and they really start taking over the investigation to the point. They have to be very careful about that right now. You want a chain of custody of all the evidence, and you want his statements to be able to stand up in court if he makes them.
Now, we did stop by the Konanki family home here in Loudoun County earlier today, where we spoke with a family friend that tells us the family is in the Dominican Republic right now. They are going through a lot of pain and sorrow. They have also been instructed by law enforcement there not to speak with media and reporters at this point. The story is still developing. We'll bring you new details as we learn them. In Leesburg, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, thank you. Breaking news at 4. The Environmental Protection Agency plans to roll back dozens of environmental regulations. It will also reconsider the scientific finding that climate change poses a public threat. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin calls it the most consequential day of deregulation in American history. This is a developing story, and we're going to keep you updated. All right, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson with the first look at our forecast. Damon, another nice day in the region.
Yes, sir, Mark. We've had that sunshine again, and it's made a difference here now that we've made it into the late afternoon. Took a little bit of time, and we have quite a temperature spread across the DMV, but there is a reason for that. You're finding much warmer temperatures as you drop down towards central Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley from Luray to Culpeper and Orange. We have 70s once again. That's because the perfect combo of plenty of sunshine and light winds allowed those temperatures to rise quite a bit. Now, as you go north, we're in the upper 60s from Winchester over to DC and across southern Maryland, as we've had a little bit of cloud cover here and there. And then as you head up toward northeastern Maryland, low 60s, even a couple of upper 50s, and that's because we've had a few clouds in the sky and more of a northeasterly wind at times, and that is a change up from yesterday when we had those southwesterly winds helping to boost up those temps. So we are running a little bit behind as compared to that much warmer day where everybody saw the 70s on Tuesday, 5 to 10 degrees cooler in most of the DMV, but nonetheless, still a very quiet, still a very comfortable rest of your Wednesday evening going into the night here. Temperatures will steadily fall off back into the 40s by 11 o'clock. But as we head into the day on Thursday, should we be prepared for even more of a cool down on the horizon? We'll have a look at your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Now to the escalating trade war. President Trump's 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports are now in effect. It's sparking retaliation from other countries. Canada says it will impose its own 25% tariffs on some $20 billion worth of U.S. goods. Now, starting tomorrow, and then the European Union is imposing counter tariffs for $28 billion worth of U.S. goods. That's starting next month. Well, tariffs on aluminum and steel could lead to higher prices on everything from homes to cars to electronics and gasoline. You may also pay more at the grocery store for things like canned goods, soft drinks, and beer. Construction costs are also expected to climb, leading to higher home prices. President Trump says that he's pushing back against the concerns, saying the tariffs will help make the U.S. a manufacturing superpower. Well, Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks introducing the Tariff Transparency Act. It's the first bill that she's introduced since taking office. Now, the bill would require the U.S. International Trade Commission to investigate the impacts tariffs on Canada and Mexico have on everyday Americans. Well, the federal worker fallout is now hitting the education sector. School districts are worried about job cuts at the U.S. Department of Education. 1,300 people were fired from the agency on Tuesday. That's about half of the workforce. And DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joins us live in studio, or in Fairfax County, pardon me. Daniel, you talked with the teachers union there. What's their main concern tonight?
Mark, the concern is that students who need the most help won't get it after all of these cuts. Now, the Department of Education only provides about 10–11% of the entire funding for school districts here, but I'm told that for those low-income students and students with special education needs, it is vital. Now, one of the most critical parts of the Department of Education, the most critical functions, is oversight. Now, making sure civil rights laws are followed. The DOE's civil rights branch is losing nearly half its staff, which could create large backlogs. Officials insisted the cuts will not affect civil rights investigations, saying the reductions were strategic decisions. I talked with David Walrud, the president of the Fairfax County Federation of Teachers. As a special education teacher, he worries these major cuts will impact students.
Right now, Secretary McMahon is trying to say that no functions are going to be dropped. It's going to be business as usual. But how in the world can business as usual maintain when you cut half of the folks that are doing the work? I would like to hope that states would work to pick up the slack, but ultimately the states shouldn't have to pick up the slack when the framework is already there.
Now, the U.S. Department of Education's headquarters in D.C., as well as its satellite offices across the country, were closed today for what we were told are security reasons. They will be reopened tomorrow. Meanwhile, advocates here in Fairfax County will be watching closely to see what happens. We're live in Fairfax County. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Washington could be headed for a government shutdown. The Republican-controlled House narrowly passed its spending bill yesterday. Now the bill faces an uncertain future in the Senate. Republicans will need to get support from at least 8 Democrats to be able to bring it to a final vote. Right now, they have support of just 1. The deadline to reach an agreement or shut down the government is this Friday. And as it stands now, the House spending bill would remove $1 billion from D.C.'s budget, plus another $1 billion over the next 3 years. Now, from federal workforce cuts, DC News Now's Mariel Carbone joins us from Capitol Hill. Mariel, what would be the immediate and long-term impacts?
Well, Mark, we would see that immediate and long term just because these 2 cuts will happen over 2 different time periods. So it's really a double hit for D.C. Now, today, stakeholders telling D.C. Council that it is really critical that D.C. reduces some of its dependency on the federal workforce. As D.C. plans for the future.
We're talking about a city that is well run, that has been recognized for how well we have operated.
Recent changes by the federal government are sparking a big shift in the local economy.
I'm concerned, obviously. A lot of what we're seeing happen on Capitol Hill is happening through no fault of local district officials.
According to city projections, massive cuts in the federal workforce could reduce D.C.'s revenue by more than $1 billion over the next 3 years.
We do need to diversify our economy.
To stay resilient, Akash Thacker, Chief Acquisitions Officer for EYA, says D.C.'s economic development team must attract more private sector companies.
A team of, let's say it, well-paid, highly qualified professionals with a strategy in place that goes out and recruits the best and brightest companies from around the country.
What we're facing could be very detrimental to our city.
For DC Chamber of Commerce President Chinyere Hubbard, upskilling and reskilling former federal workers to match growing industries is also key.
And we should be looking at emerging industries like AI, as you say, cybersecurity, manufacturing, skills that can weather times like this.
Other suggestions.
It costs too much to build in the district.
Suspending some district policies that developers say are costly for business, from lengthy eviction processes to TOPA, a program that gives tenants the right to purchase if their building goes up for sale. And under the mayor's proposed Rental Act, initiatives like TOPA, the eviction timelines and more will be changed and pulled back a bit if that does pass. We know that some local tenants' rights advocates have already come out against that. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you. Northern Virginia Community College offering employment training to recently laid off federal workers and contractors. And the school says it's an opportunity for unemployed Virginians to transition to their next careers. The college is offering $1 million in scholarship aid for people to enroll in classes for free. To be eligible, workers must have been laid off on or after February 1st and live in Northern Virginia. Applications can be found online. A World War II veteran in Western Maryland celebrated his 100th birthday today. That's Staff Sergeant Melvin Hurwitz. He piloted B-17 bombers over in Europe during the war. He said that he never thought that he would celebrate a 20th birthday, much less a 100th. He celebrated this major milestone with family, friends, and community well-wishers at Colonial Jewelers in the heart of downtown Frederick. Now, Hurwitz shared his life advice with DC News Now this afternoon. Take a listen.
I feel good, considering. Take life in moderation and not too seriously. Do unto others as you would do for yourself.
We feel so fortunate in our family to have him, and to have him with his wit and his stories and everything that he can share about the family.
And last year, Hurwitz was able to be part of last year's 80th anniversary of D-Day in France.